want to talk to you about writing music today. I think when you write music, you should really get deep inside exactly what it is you are writing. And what I mean by that is really understanding what you are creating. And I don't mean that in a music theory kind of way necessarily, although that's important to me. I mean how each chord and how each melody note is working and which ways that I can go on the path that the song takes. So there's always a different direction to pivot depending on the harmony, what you're trying to say with the song and the melody. I think really breaking down the details of maybe an original riff that you write can be a cool way to turn a song into something that you just kind of come up with and then it sits there on the shelf forever, changing it from that to something that really is an awesome piece of music that you're proud of.
Dear God, it's beautiful.
So for this lesson, I'm going to start with a riff that I came up with, and then I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by kind of breaking it down and understanding all the facets of said riff and which ways that I can go to develop this into a song. So here's the riff that I've got. So that is the riff that I'm starting with, and I'm pretty cool with this. I think it's a cool kind of little vamp to build off of. So the first thing that I want to tell you about, and the first thing that you may notice, is that there isn't necessarily a lot of color to these chords. It's really bare bones. They're just power chords, actually. So this is an F sharp power chord to an E, and then we got B to A, and then a little like John Frusciante. And then we go to E to B, and that's kind of the turnaround. So the harmony, to throw in a little music theory here, we have, I would consider this the key of F sharp minor, which is derived from A major. So if I want to kind of analyze this, I have the 6th chord, which is F sharp minor, and then I would go down to this E, which is the 5 chord, major. Now this can, in the context of A major, this would be a minor chord, the B, the 2nd chord, and then down to the root, A. So what this chord progression is shaping up to be in the context of A major would be. So now that I have that understanding of what the diatonic chords are that I'm playing, now I can begin to manipulate them and change them to what I actually want to play. But I think, like I said, it's important to understand all the facets of the music that you write, if you want to, of course. So now that I have this understanding, I am going to tweak a couple things. So I like this, that kind of 6 to 5, minor to major, but then this is a little not what I'm looking for. So I'm going to change this to a major chord. So now we're moving out of that key of A a little bit, but again, these are still just not very complex chords. Like this is just a B triad that I'm changing to major instead of minor. So all I did there was change this 2 chord to a 2 major chord. So that's some kind of modulation if you want to look at it that way. There's a lot of ways to break that down as far as music theory is concerned. We're not going to worry about that. We just want to play what sounds good. So we have this chord changed to this chord, major, and then I'm going to stick to that A major, and then we have, coming back here, originally we had this minor, so I'm really, the only thing I'm going to amend is this B minor and change it to a B major. So with that, let's see how our chord progression has changed. So I like that much better. Just one tiny note, literally one note is all I changed, and it completely transformed this chord progression. So going back to our original riff, I now understand where there are major chords and where there are minor chords. So this is where I can start to develop maybe an extra guitar part, and also as I build a solo, I can understand if I'm emphasizing major or minor notes in the right places. So again, this is all coming back to I'm understanding everything that's going on here, and not necessarily from a music theory point of view, but based on what I want to come out of my head and onto the instrument. So now I'm going to loop this riff and show you how you can dictate the tonality of each chord, meaning major and minor. You can make the listener feel what you want them to feel depending on which melodic notes you choose. And this all is built upon that process that we went through in the beginning, which is identifying whether each chord was major or minor, or what the characteristic notes were. So here is the riff looped. I'm going to play notes against these chords and show you how they will change the harmony and the music itself. I'm going to start with emphasizing the minor. So as you can hear there, I am drastically affecting the tonality with just a couple notes, and I was emphasizing the minor tonality, the F sharp minor. Now, let's see what would have happened if I did the exact same thing, only I wanted a major tonality. So that wasn't necessarily wrong, but there was just something about it that wasn't as cool, I think, as the first rendition with the minor notes emphasized. So all that I'm saying is I explored that and I understood that I don't like that necessarily. Maybe you did like it, and then in that case you can take that approach. But what I'm trying to emphasize to you is that I am exploring both sides. I'm not just kind of going down tunnel vision to one tonality that I would have a tendency to use, even though I think my first tendency was correct. There could have been some hidden gold in that second tonality, we don't know, but I arrived at the place that I feel very confident in based on experimenting with both sides, the major and the minor tonality. So now I'm going to expand on this little riff and turn it into some kind of composition for you guys. The main takeaway I think you should glean from this lesson is if you come up with a chord progression or some kind of riff, explore the chords that lie behind it, and there could be one little tweak that you make that completely changes the entire song, and you're never going to be held to one specific chord structure depending on what key you're in. Forget the music theory, just use your ear and really come up with ways to manipulate the chords to your liking. You don't have to obey any laws of music because that's what songwriting is all about. It's all about expressing yourself. So I hope you enjoy this little composition that I come up with. I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you guys next time.